We are all in Philani Community Development Center on this 25th October 2021. It is such a milestone that we are all here at Philani Development Center on this day. The day that I never thought it would come. The day I never thought that Philani would be so much flourishing. The day that I never thought that I would have so many people around me. For the reason that is where I come from. It was very isolated. I was in a desolate place. I found myself in Zilbekom Western area, in the west end of Gauteng, the place that I never thought or dreamt of, even in my dreams, that I would be here. I was born in East London and grew up in Johannesburg. But I never knew that there was a place like Zilbekom, a place which was so dry, but in my dreams it looked so fertile. But when I reached it, after many years of my maturity in my profession, I've been a professional for 17 years before coming to Zilbekom. I worked in all the high schools of Soweto, even during the riots. That's when I started, 1976. This place I found in 1996. I thought I was going to be a farmer. But seeing the children around the street, I said, farming is not my profession. Teaching is my profession. Training is my profession. Seeing the children sitting in the streets without going to school. Some could not afford because Soweto trains are very expensive, were very expensive. There was not hardly a taxi in this area. There was no means that the children can go to, even to a crash. This public crash was the first one to be established in 2001. And all the people, some were 8 years old, but they've never seen early childhood education. All the children belonged to the tenants, and the commercial farmers were born in 1989, I was told. And they left all the parents not knowing what to do with their children, with only one high school. In 2001, Philani Community Development was established. I was blessed with this place by the NAFCO management, Mr. Greg, who understood why I needed the place for the youth. I opened the doors for the community to come in. We didn't even have money to launch the place. Some are very fortunate today. They launched with millions. I launched with nothing. I had a zero budget for it. But I called the community to come and display, to bake, to display whatever they have in their hands. And no one left even a 10 cent. Everyone sold their stuff and left. But for me, it was a blessing. I felt that I've launched a place for the community. And that is when it all started. We had the computer training, we had the early childhood education, and in 2002, Tamumbeki, as a president then, brought a call for the HIV and AIDS pandemic. It was there, it was real, and we were not funded as Philani. But we took the chance of having partners like Lab Life so that we could have some youth that are involved that will participate in the program. In 2003, we discovered 300 orphan HIV/AIDS orphans in Simunye. Simunye was a new township that came from the Beggersdal residents when the RDP houses started. That was an eye-opener to us. And at the same time, people started flowing to Philani. Even by myself, I found myself adopting 2 children because the mother was thrown away because she was HIV and AIDS positive. She was staying in one of the biggest churches in Zilbekom, but she wouldn't even get food. So I took the 2 children who grew up with me till today. I still have one. He is here. He is a blessing to me. Fortunately, my partner and my co-founder, Mr. Mondlane, comes from Mozambique. He's very skilled and he was trained in Germany. He took all the trouble to teach those youth skills development. We started with picture framing, simple picture framing, and we went on. He made partnership with a company in Joburg, Tuscan Molding, who taught our children and our caregivers furniture manufacturing. If you see that board, you'll get all the story. Our caregivers were trained, our beneficiaries were trained, and Tuscan Molding gave us a mark in community building. And that is when we started to win the prize for the Premier's Award of Service Excellence, because there was no skills development in this area. Even social development didn't understand why do we take offense for skills development. But since then that we won the Premier's Award, the skills development came in, and this place, Philani, was changed, given a new status of a development center by the Premier. And we never looked back. That motivated us, that encouraged the community, even though we were still striving to be accepted by the community. There were a lot of challenges. Like I also state in my book and say, people would ask me and say, where does this woman come from? She thinks she's coming to change this place. He found it like this. And some would tell me that there's no project that has ever succeeded in this area. But I turned a deaf ear on all those criticisms and challenges. Fortunately, I didn't know the place well. I didn't know its history. So that encouraged me to move on. We started getting funding from Department of Social Development in 2003. And I always been proud to say I got 141,000 from social development. But we managed to open up 4 offices. One here in NAFCO, we call it NAFCO, where we are. And another one in Waterworks Informal Settlement, another one in Begasta, and one in Simunya. We were very strong. Now we're becoming cadres, formidable cadres of social development. And they trusted us because we were hands-on. I was a caregiver. I was not a manager. If you look at that board, you'll see me wearing a yellow something, but because I was a caregiver. I was moving around. I wouldn't sit in this office. In 2005, we had a visit by Oprah Winfrey. No one believed that Oprah Winfrey would come to the West Rand district, especially in Zepeko, agricultural holdings. They would never even know about it. They would say, where is it in the map? It's not in the map. But Oprah Winfrey came to Zepeko, to Philani Development Center, and he asked me, what is it that you would like me to do for you? I didn't have a furniture. We were using one room, which is our boardroom today, and computer training. I said, the only thing, the favor that you can do for me is to give all those children in the intermediate school shoes and school uniform. Because every day I look at them, my children are in private schools. When I look at those children, I feel so embarrassed that mine have a full uniform that they change every day and we don't have. And Oprah Winfrey, kind enough as a philanthropist, she gave the whole school, all the orphans there and vulnerable children, school uniform, from shoes up to jersey, and gave even their parents some small handbags with some goodies inside. And the whole celebration was here. At the tuck shop, because our kitchen was not open. That was the first time we opened the kitchen when Oprah came here, because we didn't have even funds to open or to buy stoves there. So God being God, we had a board of directors who, the first chairperson was Pastor Gema, even Gema. I think you'll see him, you'll talk to him now. he molded the place. We felt we have a parent, you know, a parent who was very strict, a parent that you'd fear to do anything wrong, even when he was not there. That's how he was. And fortunately, he was employed at EMS, Emergency Services in Joburg. He knew the project management system, and he started teaching us. And with the staff, that time I think we were 5, but we increased to 10, we increased to 15. So we found that to us, being 15 was a great number, because we started being only 2. Me and Mr. Mondlane, and Connie Mlogoti and her children. But we were grateful that the number was increasing. So that is when they started the skills development, the community started coming nearer. They started understanding what we were doing. And the board of directors, we had 4 or 5. We had a buy-in, and Pastor Ngema was our pillar. He was also a pastor at Christ is Lord Christian Fellowship. When we started the assembly, we knew that we start with a prayer every morning. That made us a good foundation, and until today, they know that we are a Christian movement, though we welcome all the denominations or religions. Skills development grew. Social development kept on funding us with the trust, because we were good in governance and reporting systems, and other organizations were there, but we knew that our focus is Philani. We started to expand with the mattress manufacturing. We had bee farming, we had HIV and AIDS program, CSW in 2010, before the World Cup. We won the tender to manage the whole Gauteng, to give awareness before the 2010 World Cup. 2008, we started the shelter for boys, children living and working in the street. It was not fun, but the social development needed it, and we were the only one to implement for them. We started it in a 2-roomed house, which we call RDP. But we prepared it today when there are people, politicians were coming the following day. So the following day it was ready with beds and everything. We used never to sleep to grow up Philani. We felt that even if we have to submit at 12 midnight, we have to be hands-on. We never had any other dealings except focusing on what we are doing. And hence, we felt that the success didn't just come overnight. We were all over. With the Premier's Awards, I think every second year we were winning. We won 2005, we won 2007, we won 2009. We got the Speaker's Awards, Gauteng Legislature. You know, we had so much fun now than the challenges. And we had many partners like South Deep Trust came on board, the Sibanye Gold came on board. Well, with the harmony, what succeeded us more was that the NAFCO was bought by the Anglo Gold Ashanti, and they also adopted us as their children. So we went on like that, and they also won, I don't know their competition as the mine people, but they won because of their CSI, that is Philani. They came to show us that we have won because of you. So that was a plus to us, because we were sure now that we are secured, because we are keeping their place and with a good name and a good image. So we went on like that. Our partners grew up. We mentored other organizations under the auspices of social development. We mentored big organizations like SACONO, which is a provincial, national organization, but we mentored it here. We mentored other people who were starting their businesses, because we have another program for incubation hub. That is where we were nurturing the cooperatives, the SMMEs, register them so that they become part or business entities on their own. So we went on, we never looked back until today. I thank you.